Hello folks, this is Solo speaking. You're listening to another video for Teamfight Tactics. This is taken from the new set 7.5, Uncharted Realms. And because this is not released to the wider public yet, this is from the public beta environment, the PBE. Alongside me here in this game is JDP El Grillo. We were queued up for a couple of games on the PBE server. We definitely do not know what we're doing yet, so don't think that we in any way know what the best team comps are, what the best strategies are, but this was taken from the very first day of the public beta environment. This is, I think, like 3 or 4 hours after it went live on the server, so everybody in this game is just interested in trying to learn a little bit more about the set, who the units are, what the new traits are, all that kind of jazz. So you're going to see a lot of people playing the new traits in this game, and I'm going to actually end up playing one of the new traits as well, which is the Lagoon Trait, but mostly we're just interested here in showing some footage and getting a chance to experience the new set, which will be out on the live client in about 2 weeks after this video gets posted. Okay, so what are the changes here in set 7.5? Well, the biggest change is that players are able to play more than one dragon at a time. Yes, this is the biggest change, and it is a long overdue change. The biggest issue with set 7, and it was a flaw that was pointed out by the community before the set came out, was that you were only able to play one dragon at a time, unless you had the Dragon Horde or Dragon Alliance augments, which you might have maybe 5% of the time, if that. So very frequently, you were just kind of locked into certain team compositions because you had, if you were going to play Dragon X, you couldn't play Dragon Y. There were many times where I might have wanted to play, I might have wanted to play Idis for my front line and then Deja in the back lines, but it's like, nope, you can't do that. And that really limited the options on what you could play because each dragon locked out every other dragon as soon as you played them. So you're kind of stuck with these very inflexible team compositions. About the only real flexible team composition was Corki, because Corki could be played with basically any dragon, but almost everyone else kind of had like, this is the dragon you have to play with and you can't really adjust from there. Alright, anyway, but that has changed here in the mid-set update. Now people are going to be able to play multiple dragons, and in fact, playing more than one dragon gives you stacking bonuses. It's kind of like the guild trait. As you play more dragons, you get kind of stacking bonuses on them. And this is really going to open up flexibility to just a crazy degree. It feels like this is going to be much, much, much better. Even just here in the public beta environment, it just feels so much better having this as an option. So we're going to see a little bit of that as the game goes on. I do not play, in this game, I do not play like a crazy number of dragons or anything like that, but I will do my best to play a number of them over the course of this game. As far as what's going on right now, I honestly did not really know what the heck I was going to do. I did not like any of my initial augments, so I re-rolled them. I didn't like any of my second group of augments either, so I've had to take Rich Get Richer, which I really don't like taking at the start of the game. Rich Get Richer, of course, just gives you a whole bunch of gold, and then it allows you to go up to, allows you to make interest on up to 70 gold. But I really don't suggest taking this unless you are confident that you have a very strong board, and I definitely was not confident that I had a strong board. I kind of ended up with a whole bunch of Guardians, and then like this random 2-star Vlad, which was not at all what I was interested in playing, but that's kind of what I ended up with, and I didn't really see what else to do. I thought maybe I could like go into Astral here potentially, so I picked up some Nidalees, but if I wanted to go into Astral, I would have to pick up Lux, who is the one of the new units. She is Astral plus Mage, and she's kind of the unit that pairs with Vlad. But I have not seen that. I have not seen any Luxes in the store, and so I'm not going to end up playing into the Astral trait, and I'm not going to end up playing into Mages in this game. I am going to end up playing quite a few Guardians, though. So, Guardian trait is back from the previous first half of the set. It's unchanged from the first part of the set. When Guardian champions lose, I think it's when they get to half health, they put a shield on themselves and nearby units. It's based on a percentage of their max HP. Guardian units are just straight up tanks, same as they were in the first half of the set. You basically have 3 frontliners in set 7. You have Guardians, and you have Bruisers, and you have Cavaliers, and like those are the 3 different options you have for frontline. And the Bruisers are kind of like a mixture between tankiness and like offensive damage. And the Cavaliers are lean a little bit more in that direction as well. The Guardians are basically just tanks. They don't really deal any damage. I'm kind of relying on this Sunfire Cape to do most of my damage. I just kind of like have this tank line and then a Sunfire Cape, and then Vlad is sitting there in the back lines, like trying to steal health from people. Yeah, Braum did quite a bit of damage, true damage, off his Sunfire Cape there. But the big difference in this set now is that the Guardians actually go somewhere. The big problem with Guardians in set 7, the first half of the set at least, is it was really hard to play them because all the Guardians were 1 and 2 cost units. You know, you had Leona and Taric. Taric's been removed in the mid-set update. And then you had Thresh and Braum, and Thresh has also been removed. And they're all 1 and 2 cost units. The only other unit that was a higher cost was Idis, but the problem there was Idis was a dragon. And if you played Idis, then it locked out every other dragon. And so that really limited you in what you could play. You just couldn't really play Guardian Frontline unless you're doing like some kind of reroll comp, because the 1 cost and 2 cost Guardians would just get outscaled as the game went on. Now here in the mid-set update, you have many, many more options. For one thing, you can play Idis in the late game, and you can also play other dragons. It's like, yes, finally. How many times would I have liked to have done that in the first half of the set? But there's also just more Guardians, period. They've added Rakan, who's a 3-cost Guardian. So like it's just much more viable. And of course, you still have the option to make a Guardian emblem with the, I believe it's the belt plus spatula recipe. So much, much more viable of playing Guardian Frontline. Really, really like that because it felt like you kind of had little choice other than to play Bruisers in the first half of the set for your frontline, or if you were playing like Jade or Ragewing, you could play Shapeshifter, but like the other comps really couldn't play that. And like Cavaliers were really only playable with Mirage, or I guess if you're doing a guild setup with like Sejuani. But like there just weren't very many options. There are so many more options as far as what frontline units can be played now in this set. So definitely like the ability that just having more Guardians and the ability to play Idis as a frontliner without then being locked out of every other dragon. All right, so as far as what I'm going to do here, I took this Kaisa off the carousel. Kaisa is a new unit here in this set, and I'm going to run Kaisa as my carry temporarily. So that's partly why I picked her up. I was like, you know, maybe I'll run Kaisa as a carry. I can take the rod that was on Vlad and put it on Kaisa for Morelos, which is one of her better items. Or alternately, I also had just like that belt that I could put on a frontliner, but I decided I would move out of the Vlad because Vlad didn't really fit my comp, put in the Seraphine, and now I have 3 Guardians, 3 Lagoon, and I'd actually like to get another Guardian on my board as well, but it looks like I'm going to have to wait until level 6 to do that. All right, so what is this new Lagoon trait? This is one of the there's basically 2 major new traits added in the mid-set update, those being Lagoon and Dark Flight. We're not going to see me playing Dark Flight in this game. I'm going to try to get some footage of that in another game on PBE, but we're going to see me playing Lagoon, and Lagoon is a big vertically scaling trait in this mid-set update. Darkflight, not as much of a vertically scaling trait, more of like a splash trait, but Lagoon is very much a big trait. You can see it has 3, 6, 9, and 12 tiers. So I'm going to go ahead, I have the cheat sheet open here. I'm going to read the official description for Lagoon. And remember, make sure all the numbers are going to change with time. But what Lagoon does is it gives units bonus ability power and attack speed, so AP and attack speed. It also puts a Sea Stone on the board that grants loot as Lagoon units cast abilities over time. So that's that little seashell that's on the left side of the board that has like a little number indicator next to it. I'm scouting some of the other boards right now. By the way, Grillo is also on a win streak. I haven't lost and Grillo hasn't lost, so this is really good for us. You see where it says the 7 out of 20? That is the indicator of the Lagoon thing. So as your Lagoon units cast their abilities, when that seashell like fills up and hits the next cost tier, something will pop out. And right now, the benefits for what you're getting on Lagoon are too high. This trait is giving too much benefit at the moment because it gives gold, it eventually gives items, it gives things like champion duplicators. I think if you get high enough, it gives you spatulas. Like, it gives you way too much. This is not a trait that is... this is not a trait that's just purely economic stuff. This is a trait that gives you in-combat benefits as well. It gives you attack speed and ability power. So they will definitely need to dial this down because it's overpowered right now. But again, it's PBE, like stuff's not balanced. Yeah, not really a surprise. Anyway, I'm going to get this right now. Here on stage, right here on this stage, I actually end up getting the Idis. And I'm going to check to see what the Shimmer Scale item is. And it's the thing that turns into Diamond Hands. Determined Investor, where your unit has to die, I think it's 7 times, and then you get Diamond Hands, which is a really good tank item. It makes the person holding it invulnerable for 2 seconds when I think they get to 66% health and 33% health. So it's a really good tank item. But I found Idis here. I already have a bunch of Guardians. I was like, well, I guess I'm playing Guardians. Guess I'm just going to play Guardians right now. So I'm going to look to play... I'm going to look to go to 6, and then I wanted to play 4 Guardians at level 6, but instead I'm just going to play the Idis, and I feel like that's going to be better. So I'm still going to be stuck on 3 Guardians for the time being, but I'll be able to get Idis in play, and I'm going to be able to use the Shimmer Scale item and start stacking up Determined Investor. So I want to go to level 6 here. Remember, I do have Rich Get Richer, so I am quite wealthy in this game. So we'll go ahead and put in the Idis, and again, now I'm on the awkward, on the awkward 3 Guardians. I'm also on I'm on 4 Shimmer Scale, so I would get another Shimmer Scale item if I put another Shimmer Scale unit in, but I would actually rather put in another Guardian, because that would make me quite a bit stronger. All right, I've also picked up a glove here, so I don't know quite what that's going to be right now. I also have a tier, and I would really like to make a blue buff on Kaisa because it's one of her better items. So I do want to talk briefly about how Kaisa's ability works. Again, she's one of the new units. She is Lagoon plus Dragonmancer. She's a good early game carry. Some people have been rerolling her. I think her numbers are a little bit overtuned right now. But her mana cost is 45, so blue buff is really good on her. And her ability is to fire out missiles. I'll read the description here. Kaisa fires missiles split between her target and nearby enemies that each deal magic damage. Increases by 2 missiles each time she casts, up to maximum magic missiles. When at maximum missiles, each missile deals 10% more damage. And right now, the maximum missiles is 12. So basically, each time that she casts, she's going to keep putting out more missiles on the next cast until she eventually gets up to 12 and deals magic damage. So she's a scaling unit that scales up over time in these fights. So blue buff is good on her. She deals magic damage. She's a good early Dragonmancer. You can play through the Dragonmancer trait with her early as well. I'm not doing that here. That's actually kind of more common, is to play through the Dragonmancer trait with her. But I haven't really been seeing Dragonmancer, so I'm not doing that. As far as what's going on in-game, well, I hadn't lost yet. Grillo hadn't lost yet. Unfortunately, I hit Grillo, and, well, he beat me. He's running a Jade plus Shimmer Scale setup, which is really pretty interesting, but I've heard that that's now a pairing that kind of fits together, is playing Jade plus Shimmer Scale. And his board's quite strong right now because he's the only person who hasn't lost yet in the lobby. Right now, I'm trying to place that Determined Investor. You can see Determined Investor basically does nothing, but you want the unit that holds it to die 7 times. You can place it during the fights. It's one of the little micro tricks that you can do. So I'm trying to hold it and then place it during the fights. I think that my board is not amazingly strong right now because I'm playing through a 1-star Kaisa, and I've also got this 1-star Seraphine on my board right now. I also have the very awkward 4 Shimmer Scale, 3 Guardians. So, like, I don't have 5 Shimmer Scale. I don't have 4 Guardians. So, as I said, I'm kind of in an awkward position. The unit I really want to find is Rakan, who is another Guardian. So I'm looking for him right now. I'm going to hit the 2... I've hit 2-star... I mean, my front line's pretty good. I've hit 2-star... Zach, and I've hit 2-star Nasus right now. Nasus is basically identical to what he was in set 4, for people who are curious. When he ults, he gains health, and he deals magic damage to people next to him. So he's basically the same as he was in set 4. As for Zach, he's also Guardian. So these are all Guardians. Nasus is Guardian plus Shimmer Scale. Zach is Guardian plus Lagoon. Lagoon's kind of interesting because you have both Bruiser and Guardian frontline options. Zach is a Guardian and Malphite is a Bruiser. So you can kind of play in either direction if you want. I am obviously going for the Guardian setup here, which is why I'm not running Malphite. And again, I'm going to try to look to... hopefully Zach will die in this fight. This person has 3-star Malphite. I don't know if that's actually very good. They don't really seem to have too much damage. I guess they do have the Lagoon Dragon, Soam, who I was going to talk more about a little bit later in this video. But yeah, the 3-star Malphite didn't actually see that strong. I don't know if double Zarats is really the way to go there, as far as how this works. So I don't think I can beat that dragon. They did buy enough time. So it looks like after... winning the first 5 rounds, now I've lost the next 3 rounds, which is, not ideal, but from a streaking perspective, it's actually pretty good. It's actually pretty solid from like an economic perspective here. I've also dropped low enough that I'm going to get the second pick, which is not terrible here. Anyway, so what do I want? I actually wanted a tier, but a tier gets grabbed immediately. So if that's not an option, I want to make use of this glove. I was like, I'll just go ahead and make Jeweled Gauntlet. Maybe I can make the Infinity Edge Jeweled Gauntlet combo later. It actually is good to make Infinity Edge plus Jeweled Gauntlet on Lagoon champions because Lagoon Trait provides ability power to your units innately. So anytime that units can get AP from like traits, it's usually a good time to accelerate their builds with crit stuff with IE Jeweled Gauntlet. So I'll put that on the Kaisa right now, and I have the option to go to level 7. Remember, I do have Rich Get Richer, so that's the reason why I was sitting around like 70 gold. I was actually getting bonus value from that. And this is going to let me toss in that 1-star Braum. Now, Braum is not in and of himself, Braum's not going to do very much, but it takes me up to 4 Guardians, and that actually is pretty significant. It's a big jump to go from 2 Guardians up to 4 Guardians. The benefit goes from 25% of max health shield to 45% of max health shield. Again, this is PBE, those numbers could change, but probably not because this is exactly the same as what it was on the live client in set 7. So that's more likely to stay the same than some of this other stuff. So yeah, it's just a big difference going from 25% to 45%. And you're also getting the benefit on 4 units instead of getting the benefit on 2 units. So I've basically got a very strong front line. I am doing a good job of getting a unit to die with the Determined Investor in every fight. I have managed to get a unit to perish each time, so I'm getting closer to getting that to transform into Diamond Hands. My big problem is my backline just isn't that strong at the moment. By the way, yeah, Lagoon gave me a Reforger there. But yeah, my backline's pretty weak. I have a 1-star Seraphine and a 1-star Kaisa. Kaisa's itemization is not bad. If she were able to get another tier for blue buff, she'd actually have pretty good items right now, since she applies Morello's very well. By the way, Grillo still has not lost a round yet. So Grillo doing his typical thing, has a very strong board, as usual. We both got crushed in the very first game we played. I came in 8th, Grillo came in 7th, but this is the second game we played, and we're getting a slightly better sense of what to do. Or we were just, maybe we were high-rolling a bit as well. Anyway, so I would love to win this and get a little 2-match win streak going into the Minion Round. Again, I'm holding that Determined Investor, trying to see which unit's most likely to die. Looks like Zach is the one that's most likely to perish in this fight. I've also got Kaisa in the background. She actually took quite a bit of damage from that Lux on the other team. By the way, the perception was that Lux's numbers are probably a little bit overtuned right now as well. Again, I'd like to try out Lux in a different game. This person's playing like an AP comp, but look at their items. They have all AD items, so I don't know what's going on there. And yeah, unfortunately not able to win that one, even though I was hoping I could. So not able to go on any kind of a win streak into the Minion Round here. So what I really should have done is I should have tried to place a unit to die to the minion so I could get another stack on Determined Investor, but I actually forgot about doing that. Anyway, while we've got a minute here, I'm going to talk about Seraphine because she is a unit that you're going to see an awful lot in this set. I expect she will be played in a billion team compositions. She has 3 traits, Lagoon, so she's giving me Lagoon, Mystic, and Evoker. So yeah, any unit that has Mystic and Evoker probably going to be in a lot of team comps. So she's basically the replacement for Lulu, who's been taken out in this set. So her ability is called Serenade of the Seas. Seraphine sings a Serenade of the Seas, grants a shield and mana per attack to all allies within 2 hexes for 4 seconds. So when she uses her ability, by the way, look at how much gold I have right here. This is pretty crazy. So I am super rich in this game, by the way. I'm going to go ahead and use this to fast 8 right now. When she uses her ability, she will put a shield and then also additional mana per attack on nearby units. It's units within 2 hexes, so she's usually best played in the 3rd row because that way she will reach the front row and the back row with her abilities. So that's the hope anyway. But yeah, Mystic trait plus the Evoker trait means she's going to be used in a heck of a lot in this set. And she's just like a super valuable utility unit to have in there. I've also picked up Rakan, who is the other unit that's going to be played, like I said, about 1 billion times in this set. Rakan has Guardian and Mystic traits. Yeah, Guardian and Mystic. I don't know if they necessarily should have put that much stuff on him, but yeah, he has 2 awesome traits. He's also Rage Wing as well, although that's not going to factor into this set. So yeah, he has just awesome, awesome traits. So I'm running him to get Guardian, and then I'm also running the Seraphine. So together they make Mystic, and I also have the 4 Guardians in here as well. All right, so we've got one more option here, and I was like, I don't want blue battery. That's been nerfed. Note that it sets caster's mana to 10. It also doesn't work with blue buff. And Axiom Arc does not feel that good. I was like, all right, well, what about Guardian Heart? This means I'm going to count as +1 Guardian on my team composition. So that should allow me to run 4 Guardians, and I'll be able to drop some of the weaker Guardians as time goes on. I also can temporarily play 6 Guardians, although I don't think that's good enough to do. I was like, what if I just level to 8 here and put in Braum for 6 Guardians? I mean, it doesn't cost me much of anything to do so. It's like 10 gold. I was like, all right, I'll just level here and put in Braum. I do plan on rolling here soonish, but I think I wanted to wait until after the Minion Round. I'm also going to try to reforge this belt, and I'm going to go ahead and make Dragon's Claw. I haven't really been talking about the stuff that Lagoon's given me, but like Lagoon continues to feed me gold. It gave me some Braums popped out of the orb. It gave me the Reforger. So yeah, as I've said before, this just really feels like it's too strong. But anyway, now I have 6 Guardians, so okay. Yeah, well, I actually have 5 Guardians, and I have +1 Guardian from my Augment. But it's like, yeah, okay. That means we have a very tanky front line. And oh, look at this. Now I have Diamond's Hands. Yep. Provides, what is it? Provides health and ability power, and then when the unit hits 66% health and 33% health in the fights, becomes invulnerable for 2 seconds. And yep, more stuff still popping out of the, that, what is it? That Lagoon Orb. The huge surge of gold came from the transformation from the Determined Investor into Diamond Hands, and I got a Champion Duplicator out of that as well. So, all right, now I'm level 8. I was like, all right, well, you know what I want to do? I want to roll a little bit here. I want to see if I can 2-star my board, and I really want to see if I can find the Lagoon Dragon. So, that's the unit I'm looking to play into. So I'm going to roll here. I'll pick up some extra Rakans. Maybe I can try to go for Rakan 3-star. And there we go. There is Soam. So I want to play this unit. Now, this does take me down to 6 Lagoon. It takes me down to 5 Lagoon. So I was like, all right, yes, let's drop down to 4 Guardian and go up to 6 Lagoon. Now I just need to find one more Lagoon unit so that I can sell the Kaisa and then transfer the items over to Soam, who is going to be my principal carry in this game. Soam is the Lagoon Dragon. Note, of course, I'm running multiple dragons. I've said that that is not a problem in this set, and thank goodness. This is a huge, huge improvement over the previous set. I can run Idis for frontline, and I can run Soam as a Mage Dragon in the backline. As I said, he is the Lagoon Dragon, so he gives me 3 ranks of Lagoon Trait. And he is a Mage Dragon as well. Actually has the Mage Trait as one of his other abilities. He is, I believe his 2 things are Lagoon, Dragon, or 3 things are Lagoon and Dragon and Mage. So I'll talk more about him in a second. Let's go ahead and take a look at this carousel. So I didn't feel like I was in a particularly bad shape, but I am down at 61 HP. The main thing is I'm just super duper rich as a result of the gold coming out of the Lagoon Trait, the gold I got from my Shimmer Scale item, and then also having rich get richer. So I'm just like super duper rich. So the correct thing for me to do is to go to level 9 quickly and then try to play more like legendary units at level 9. So that's what I'm going to try to do. Move into more expensive units at level 9 and just be able to play some more 5-cost units there. As far as what I wanted on the carousel, I really wanted the tier for blue buff. And that is because this is a very good item on Soam. So let me describe what this Lagoon Dragon does. Soam's ability is called Tide Blossom, has a mana cost of 40. So anytime you see a unit that has mana cost 40, you might want to put a blue buff on them. Soam sends out a Tide to an unmarked target, marks them with the Tide Blossom transfer to nearby target. Marking them with the Tide Blossom, it transfers to a nearby target if the enemy dies. After 3 casts, his next cast instead summons a Vortex under each Tide Blossom, dealing magic damage to enemies in the area. So his first 2 casts will sends out a Tide thing that marks enemies. Then his 3rd cast goes ahead and deals like kind of an explosion of damage on where he's marked the targets. So you saw me roll there. I was able to find a second Soam, and then I was like, I've got this Champion Duplicator. I want to go fast 9. I'm just going to use it right now for 2-star Soam. So at this point, I was like, I've got the blue buff. I could try to. I have the Jeweled Gauntlet. I definitely want both of those items. I was like, do I want to try to hold out here for Infinity Edge, for the Infinity Edge Jeweled Gauntlet? That would not be bad at all. I was like, you know what? I've got this Morello's. Let's just go ahead and use this as well. Soam actually applies Morello's really well because you've probably seen Soam fires out these, what is it they called? What's the official description called them? I have the cheat sheet here. These tides. They're officially called tides. So he shoots out these tides, and they pass through most of the board. having him hit and apply Morellos on all of these feels like it's pretty good. I think that that's not bad. So I'm pretty content to just do that and have him keep applying Morellos over and over and over again. So I actually have a tremendous number of heal cuts in my team. I have a Sunfire for my front line. And then on top of that, I've also got the Morellos. And I actually rolled yet another Morellos on the Thief's Glove that Seraphine has in this round as well. So that's pretty funny. Yep, so six Lagoon, 4 Guardian. Again, with me getting +1 Guardian from my Augment. Still have Shimmer Scale in, which right now is just providing the Diamond Hands, which is really good on Idis. And Lagoon is still printing me more money. By the way, Soam casts so frequently that he stacks up that Lagoon thing at a tremendous rate. I'm actually getting a lot of those stacks on the little Lagoon seashell just because Soam with blue buff casts so frequently. So I don't know what ideal itemization for Soam is, but I do think that blue buff is one of his core items just because he needs to cast super duper fast. I'm actually also not sure if it's necessarily great to run him with mages. I don't think that that's bad, but I actually ran him without mages in this game and it felt just fine. All right, so here is the Treasure Dragon, and they have reworked the Treasure Dragon here in set 7.5. Now you have odds to get something that's not the normal Treasure Dragon. You also have odds to get the special Treasure Dragon, which is you can get either a Chaos Treasure Dragon or an Order Treasure Dragon. It's currently 40% odds for the normal dragon, 30% for an Order Dragon, 30% for a Chaos Dragon. By the way, here you're going to see me sell the Seraphine because I'm now going to put aura items on Seraphine. I'm going to put this Thief's Glove on Neela, who is the Assassin. Assassin plus Lagoon are her traits. And then I'm just going to look to get ready to go to level 9 after this. So I do not like this. I think there's way too much power in the Radiant items. Anytime that you get an Order Treasure Dragon, you get a Radiant item with it. And I don't like this because there's so much power in the Radiant items. They're considered to be equal to a Prismatic Augment. It just introduces a lot of RNG into the game in a way that I don't think is healthy. In particular, it's kind of bad because you almost want to leave your carries with 1 slot empty in case you get a Radiant item, but like it's only 30% odds you're going to get a Radiant item. So it's like you can't even know if it's going to be there or not. But if it is there, then like you now suddenly want to have like a Radiant item slot available for your carry. So I don't like this. I think it's too much RNG. The TFT developers can never stop themselves. It's like they come up with like a good idea in moderation and then they immediately like go way overboard. It's like, you know, having like 2 drinks is fine, but they're always like, no, not 2 drinks. Let's have 12 drinks instead. They always want to go over the top and like do things to excess. And that's kind of how what I feel they've done here. So I don't love this. I've gone ahead and taken the Radiant Shroud of Stillness, which means I get the giant fat shroud that hits the whole enemy team, or it basically hits half the board. I already had Soam fully itemized, so this made the most sense. I also already have Idis fully itemized, so like a Radiant tank item would not do anything for me here. And in addition to that, a Radiant mage item wasn't going to do anything. So I end up with a Radiant utility item, which is actually really good for me. But I just don't like the amount of RNG that this introduces. Anyway, so I'm rolling here. I went level 9, so I've gone. This is very, very fast for level 9. It's only 5-2. And now I actually find a 2-star Al Shin. I was like, oh man, 2-star Al Shin? Is there any way I can play this dragon? I was like, what would I do to play this dragon? It's like, because I would love to just have another, you know, legendary 2-cost dragon in here, but I'm not sure how I get this in. See, the problem is these items are very good on Soam, but they wouldn't be quite as good on Al Shin. The blue buff in particular is almost useless on Al Shin. It's just not going to be good on him because his mana costs are like 180 or something like that. And I'm kind of running the Lagoon setup here as well. I don't really want to move out of Lagoon. So then it's like, well, is there any way I can just get another dragon on the board? Because I have like an extra unit slot. I have this Yasuo. I have a 1-star Yasuo that I've tossed in here. It's like, okay, so I could definitely take Yasuo out of my team composition, that's for sure. But it's like, but then what else? I'd have to take out another unit. It's like, well, I don't want to take out Idis. Idis is doing amazing work. I don't want to move out of 4 Guardians. Remember, I have +1 Guardian, so I feel like Guardian is quite good to have on my board right now. It's like I could drop down to 3 Lagoon. I guess that's also an option, but like the 6 Lagoon's not bad either. I don't want to take out Seraphine. I don't want to take out Zac. If I don't want to take them out, then Like, I don't really want to take out Neela to drop down to 5 Lagoon. That doesn't necessarily feel worth it either. So it's like, if I could get +1 Lagoon, then I could play this item. If I can get +1 Lagoon, then I can play this. But I don't feel as though it's worthwhile to play the Alshin unless I can get like +1 Lagoon. So I'm kind of in an awkward position here, and I've got like this one extra slot. I would love to play Bard or something like that, but I haven't found Bard yet. So yeah, I don't feel like this board is ideal at the moment. I actually feel like this board can definitely be stronger, but this is the second game of the set that I've played, so I'm still trying to figure out what I could do here. By the way, I would not mind getting another Shroud. I actually think that would be pretty hilarious if I took another Shroud, but it's actually gone. I could actually have literally the entire board shrouded with like my Radiant Shroud plus the non-Radiant Shroud, but that is not an option. So I'm going to go ahead and just take another Zeeks and continue buffing up my back line. I might as well. I've basically decided I'm going to put the Aura items on Seraphine. So I'm also grabbing Zoe as well. Remember, Soam is a Mage Dragon, so if I could get +1 mages, that's also an option as well. Like, I could play Zoe, and then if I could get +1 mages, then I could run 3 mages, and then Soam would double cast on his ability. Anyway, so I find the Neela here. So I made 2-star Neela, and by the way, Neela's rolled has rolled a Chalice and a Death Cap for her items. Does she? I honestly, off the top of my head, I don't know if she does physical or magic damage. I'm actually going to check that right now to see. She is a 4-cost assassin, so she deals. Let's see. Neela's ability, Apotheosis. Neela cracks her whip blade at the target, dashes through them, deals magic damage. Okay, she does deal magic damage. If this deals damage to a shield, she steals percentage of the damage she deals. If her target is shielded or killed, she instantly recasts. Okay, so she does deal magic damage, so those are better items than normal for her. So she's a magic damage assassin. By the way, I also got a belt and a glove out of the Lagoon Orb, the little seashell. And so I just used that to make a Banshee's Claw over there. So now Seraphine is like fully itemized here with Aura items. And I'm just giving the benefits to Neela and then to my main carry, who's Soam. By the way, I wouldn't mind getting another assassin in here as well. I considered playing Rengar, but I didn't really see a lot of Rengars. Then I was like, oh, wait a minute. Well, I'm finding that's 5 Neelas. That's 6 Neelas. Okay. Well, let's just hold these Neelas here. You never know. Maybe able to, maybe I'll be able to hit Neela 3-star. I do have 6 of them, and I have plenty of gold. I'm continuing to get more gold here as a result of having Lagoon just printing me money. And of course, I'm also on this big win streak as well. Anyway, I get a perfect Shroud there. I'm able to Shroud like the entire team. This person's playing reroll Wukong. Wukong is back from earlier sets. The Bonky Kong, which people liked back in, what was it, set 4 that people played Wukong? Or was it set 5? I'm trying to remember which one it was. But yeah, he's back again. My front line is just so tanky. It's very difficult for people to get through the 4 Guardian front line, especially because Idis has the Diamond Hands, making Idis invulnerable for 4 seconds in every fight. By the way, we're up against someone who's playing Shi-Ou, and Shi-Ou is now a splash unit. You can play Shi-Ou and just splash her into your comp for a rank of Mystic if you can use 2 slots for it. So that's a fun unit to have as well. And then look here, and now I get another item out of my Lagoon Trait. It just gives me a Gargoyle Stone Plate. This is way too many benefits to be getting out of this. I also got an item remover as well. So I'm going to move out of the Sunfire Cape, which is a good early game item, but in the late game is not an amazing tank item. So I'm going to replace that with the Gargoyle Stone Plate, which is a much better item for Idis. I'll put the Sunfire Cape on Rakan, because Rakan likes to run into the back lines. By the way, I've got a Rengar here, so I was like, do I want to sell this Yasuo and play the Rengar? So I get Assassin Trait in play for Neela. And then I also get I also get a Ionic Spark. So I decided I'm going to go ahead and do that to put Assassin Trait in place. So I'm going to roll here. I am seeing some Sorakas. There's another Neela. It's like, that's 7. And then I finally hit 2-star Seraphine, so okay. But I'm going to put the Ionic Spark on Rakan. He's going to dash around in the back lines. His ability is the same as it was back in, what was the last set he was in? I'm trying to remember. And then, by the way, I just find Bard, and I was like, all right, well, I'd rather just play the Bard than this Rengar. That's going to give me 3 Mystic, and I kind of have a stall comp here, if I'm being perfectly honest. Like, I will play 2-star Yasuo over 1-star Bard, but I kind of have a stall comp here, to be honest. It's like I have this super tanky front line, and then it's just basically buy time for Soam to kill people by ulting over and over and over again. And so stuff that, allows me to stall longer is not bad at all. This person has a 2-star Alshin, so I was like, oh, that's bad. And it actually ends up killing my Sohm. So I was like, well, I definitely lose this fight. You know, my main carry just got taken out. But it turns out Rakan with that that Ionic Spark plus the Ionic Spark plus the Sunfire is over on their carry. And then Neela manages to dash over and just kill them at the end of the fight. So I was like, oh, okay. My carry gets taken out, but I still win the fight anyway. And then I knock this player out. I was like, oh, wow, okay. I guess my utility unit's really doing work here in this fight. So I'm just going to keep rolling here. And, oh, that's 8 Rakans. That's 8 Rakans here. So I was like, all right, well, I'm going to keep rolling here. And, oh, well, there we go. 3-star Rakan. That was fairly easy. So I decided at this point I'm going to move out of the Yasuo. I will sell that and play this unit. You might wonder, why do I have the Braum on my bench? I had Braum because the thought was, if I can find a Guardian emblem on a carousel, I would drop the Bard, and then I'd put in the Braum, and I'd play 6 Guardian. So I just held a 2-star Braum. It's not like I was hurting for money or anything here. Anyway, this person was probably the strongest person in the lobby. They have a 3-star Zippy, or not Zippy, they have a 3-star Namzi. Namzi is now a unit you can play, not just a trainer, not just something that appears when you run trainer trait. Now Namzi is actually a unit you can play, and they've managed to 3-star them. They also have 3-star Soraka as well. So pretty strong board there, but yeah, they just can't get through my front line. And now I've got the 3-star Rakan as well. So 3-star Rakan with these items is not an easy unit to kill, especially with 4 Guardian, 3 Mystic in. Anyway, over here, Grillo is up against this other player, and Grillo's going to win and knock them out. So we have secured at the very least, we are both top 3 in this game. All right, so now I'm going to keep rolling. There's a Bard, and oh, there's a Neela, and I've got a champion duplicator that popped out of my Lagoon or little seashell. I've mentioned that Lagoon gives way too many benefits right now. So, all right, we're just going to 3-star Neela and Rakan. So I'm going to type kind of high rolling here because, as I said, this definitely gives too many benefits. And it looks like I'm up against Grillo for this round. So he says, you don't say. It's like, yep, you don't say. So yeah, I've got a 3-star Neela. She does not have Assassin trait in, but she does have the Lagoon trait. So she gets extra attack speed and extra ability power. And now my board is pretty capped at this point. I'm not really close to 3-starring anything else. I guess I could hit 2-star Bard. So Neela is just kind of dashing around killing people in the back line. Rakan is dashing around disarming people. And Sohm is still the main carry that I'm running here. So I was kind of hoping there'd be a Guardian emblem on this. Here because that would just be truly ridiculous. But no, that is not the case. There is a Lagoon emblem, though, so I was like, oh, Lagoon emblem, can I do something with this? There's also a Bard for Bard 2-star, but I don't feel that that's that necessary. So I was like, what can I do with this Lagoon emblem? So this does mean I can cut a Lagoon emblem from my team, but at this point I was like, wait a minute, what Lagoon unit would I take out? So like I can cut it, but like I don't want to take out Zac because he's giving me Guardian. I do want the 4 Guardian. I'm not going to drop Sohm. He's my main carry. I'm not going to drop Seraphine. Seraphine's giving me Mystic trait and has all my Aura items. And obviously I'm not going to drop a 3-star Neela. So yeah, that's maybe not ideal. Like I said, previously I had thought, you know, if I could get +1 Lagoon, then I'll just drop the Neela and then I can put in Zoe. And then maybe I can play 5, and then I can play 3 mages. But with Neela being 3-star, that doesn't make any sense whatsoever. So now I've just got this, and I honestly can't even put it on most of my units because they're fully itemized. Like, I would put it on Rakan, but Rakan's fully itemized, so that's not going to work. So I'll just put it on Bard, and then Bard will get some attack speed and ability power. So that actually ended up not doing that much for me, getting the Lagoon emblem. But, oh well. I was trying to see if there was a way I could fit it in, and I really couldn't find a way to fit it in. So I am going to beat Grillo and knock him out, and this game looks like it is pretty much finished at this point. I continue to get more items out of the Lagoon little seashell. But, I mean, as we said, this game's pretty over. I was trying to see if I could hit Bard 2-star just to finish capping my board. I really did not see the Bards in this game. Again, that person over there has 7 mages, or 8 mages. 8 mages. They have Mage Alshin. They're actually a really strong board. But I've got, you know, 3-star Rakan and 3-star 3-star Neela, so yeah, their board is really strong, but all these 3-stars have just kind of accelerated me past them. They also do get the Shroud, but Shroud doesn't really do anything on Sohm because Sohm just casts instantly with blue buff regardless. So the question is just, will we get wiped off the board by this double casting Alshin? I mean, it does an awful lot of damage, but fortunately, we've killed everything else on the board. Neela and Rakan did both die in that last fight, so it was relatively close, but I'm able to finish this one off, and it is a first, and I had some big, long win streak at the end of the game. I think I won like 12 rounds in a row or something like that. This was a real high roll. You can definitely see that Lagoon is giving too many economic benefits. They need to pare that back in a major way. Way too many. Like, you get both this trait that's strong in terms of like what it does in combat, and it also gives you crazy economic benefits. So I was able to hit 3 stars and just kind of cruise to victory. Anyway, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. I think this set has a lot of promise. Hopefully we'll have some fun with this one. Until then, take care, folks.